Okay, so here we are again, and now this time when we log into Office 365 and we're in our email and we go down here to Office 365, today we're not creating a new PowerPoint, so we're not going to go to PowerPoint Online. We are actually going to go to our OneDrive because that's where our saved documents are and saved PowerPoints. I'm going to have to log in really quickly, so one moment, please. Okay, so I am looking for my Tech PowerPoint. I select that. This is what it looks like. It's very similar to opening your Word document. You again have to edit your presentation, and you're going to edit it in PowerPoint Online. Now, I just want to kind of stop for a minute because we need to remind ourselves that these iPads sometimes don't always do exactly as we want them to, and so we need to remember how to troubleshoot. We need to remember how to refresh things. We need to, if it starts getting very glitchy, we need to know that if it just completely locks up on us, we need to get rid of it. I did find another way to kind of come into it fresh that might help you. If you're running into trouble while you're working today, if you go up here to where it says your name and you click on that, and you come down here to these three circles, you can actually sign completely out. And then after you sign out, something really important to do to get completely out is right up here is to close that window out. Okay? That's telling Office 365 that you're really logging out and you're completely out of it. And so you can go back into it fresh and new. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to log back in. So remember, you can refresh, you can close out, close the window though too, you can sign out. Those are all troubleshooting ways to get out and then go back in. So give me one moment while I log back in again. I don't want us to be frustrated, we just have to learn how to kind of manage technology, and getting angry at it or upset with it is probably not the best way to handle it, because when we're angry we don't tend to learn a lot. So take a deep breath and think about what you need to do to troubleshoot. Okay, so I'm back in, and again I'm going to go down here. I'm going to wait for my Office 365 to pop up. When it does, I'm going to go into my OneDrive. I hope you're just watching because you're going to have time to practice this in a moment. I'm going to find my Tech PowerPoint. When it has a P on it, that means it's a PowerPoint. When it has a W, it means it's a Word document. So we're looking for a P, Tech. Edit presentation, online, okay, now I'm ready to edit. I'm happy with my cover page, so what I'm going to do is going to go to my second slide. I touch it. It has the orange box around it now. It says, okay, you are now editing this one. Now notice there's no place for me to just start typing. There's no text box is what we call it. So what I'm going to do is I need to insert. I click up here to insert, and I want to insert some text. So I'm going to insert a text box. And what will appear is a text box. And it says click to add text. Now, I see these squares all the way around my text box. That means that it's movable right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my text box, and all I did is put my finger on it and drag it over here, and I'm going to let it go. So my text box is over here now, and I can see it. Now, what you can do is add some text. So I'm going to click twice inside of my text box. I'm going to turn my iPad so I can see what I'm typing. And I see my cursor after click to add text. So I'm going to get rid of click to add text by hitting my backspace button. I do not like that glare, kiddos. I hope you can't see it too bad. Okay. And now I can start adding text. So, oops, I didn't capitalize it. Maybe I'll write I don't know what to write. Maybe a poem that is about my picture. You can maybe write about what you enjoy doing, things that make you happy. So I'm just going to throw some words out there. Okay. Now I'm just going to take a look at this. I've added text. This here is the slide. So when I present this, if you see my InnerWrite board, this is actually the entire size of my InnerWrite board, and this would be the size of the text. It may look tiny here, but it's actually probably quite big when I go to put it on to a presentation. But if you do want to make your text bigger, it's very similar to doing it in a Word document. You're going to go ahead and highlight the words that you want to make larger. And, oops, love those glitches. There. Hey. Sometimes it's very irritating because, again, okay, so I've totally messed this up, which is great because I want to show you this. If you remember when we totally messed things up, because our iPads are fun to play with, and you don't know how to make it go back to how you started, this little arrow right up here is the key. That undoes what you did last. So you can push it again, and it takes you back. Oops, I got rid of it. I'm clear back here. I don't want to be clear back here. So if I want to put that back on there, I'm going to go the other direction. There. Oops. There. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like that because I don't want to become frustrated. But what I do want you to know is that if you want to at least get your text on there, The detail work would be best if you waited until you were on a computer. Okay? I don't know why these iPads are so iffy about things like that, but they are. So that's what we have to just deal with. But there are a couple other little things I want to show you about a text box that you can do with the iPad. When the text box is selected, you will see the box around it with the little squares. Right now it's not selected. Now it is. Okay? If you want to format your text box, you can actually hold your finger there for a minute. And you can... Nope, it's not going to let me. We're not going to do that. There it is. This is what I was waiting for it to pop up. You can actually put an outline around your text box. And you can see it over here appearing. You can fill your text box maybe with a different kind of color behind your text. You can even set a style up, maybe fuzzy around the edges a little bit. But I don't want black. I don't want my text that color. Very similar to what we did in Word, kiddos. Maybe I want my text to be red. There. Okay? So, don't get overwhelmed with all the things you can do in moving things around and making the text larger and smaller. That's tricky on the iPad. But what you can do is go to each of your slides, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to practice inserting a text box, move the text box over, double click to change the text, and you can either change it here, or if you notice right now after I entered the text, look at all my choices still up here. I can outline it. That's pretty. I can fill it. I can style it. Go to Home. You can change the color of your text. You can make it bold. As long as it's like this at the very beginning, you can maybe make it a little larger. Okay? So take some time, add some text to each slide. If you feel like you're really making progress, you can continue to add more slides and more text boxes. Don't get frustrated if you're stuck on one and it's just terrible. You don't need to worry about it. Go to the next one. Try again, okay? Don't give up. You can do it. It does take a little bit of patience. If you figure something out, go ahead and share it with your neighbor. Good luck, kiddos.